Hello everyone, and welcome to my review for each arc in One Piece. We've arrived at the end of the Water 7 saga. So what's the final arc in the Water 7 saga? Well, it's Water 7. Again! In most anime, the characters always have a place they can come back to after their respective arcs. For Naruto, it's the Leaf Village, for Bleach, it's Katakura Town or the Soul Society, and in My Hero, it's UA. But One Piece is a bit different. In One Piece, they go from island to island in search of adventure. Never would we see them return to that island or backtrack. The Going Merry was the closest thing to a home base, but with it gone, they must come back to Water 7 in search of a new ship they can call home. Post-Enies Lobby, as the name suggests, is the time for both the Straw Hats and the audience to kind of relax, prepare for the next adventure, and of course, the lore dump. Like, in all honesty, the stuff that happens outside of Water 7 is probably the best part, in my opinion. So get ready for another awkward family reunion. Don't piss off Santa Claus, and I hope you like lions as we return to Water 7. Post-Enies Lobby is 10 episodes and 11 chapters. So there's actually 13 episodes, but it's really obvious to tell which ones are filler when you have titles like Mothers Are Strong, Zoro's Hectic Household Chores, Sanji's Shock, Mysterious Old Man and His Super Yummy Cooking, or my personal fave, Nami's in Danger, The Great Tax Evasion Equation. They return to Water 7, where the citizens rebuild the island after the damage caused by Aqua Laguna. Zoro starts his sad boy hour since he can't put a sword in his mouth. Usopp is chilling with the giants, aka his only friends, and Nami's depression finally hits after 300 episodes. Frankie barges in style to tell the bedtime story of a special jewel tree known as Adam. The whole reason he stole the 200 million from the gang was to buy the wood in order to build his ship of dreams, which he plans to give to the Straw Hats, just like Tom did for Roger. That's cool and all, Frankie, but I mean, you stole 200 million, you beat Usopp to a bloody pulp, and in a way, you started all that drama regarding the ship. Kinda hard to just let that go. Things aren't all sunshine and rainbows as the Marines show up at Water 7 to pay Straw Hat Luffy a visit. And for this Marine, it's personal.
All right, you two, wait here.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. There's a door just right over there. You literally passed it. It's unlocked too. You don't need to peep through the window.
Oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. Not like we've been trying to rebuild the whole island for the past 2 weeks or anything.
The Vice Admiral charges through and gives Luffy the strongest bunk known to mankind. This is the Navy hero, Monkey D. Garp, Luffy's grandpa. Garp is a man who's all about tough love, putting Luffy in danger as a kid and traumatizing the poor boy in order to toughen him up to join the Marines. And yeah, that didn't work.
If you don't show your grandpa some respect, I'll have to beat it out of you.
There's just a lot to unpack there, but I mean, it kind of makes me wonder what the series would be like if Luffy joined the Marines. And then you realize that probably all his crewmates would be dead. Garp then goes on a random, uncomfortable political tangent your parents would say at the dinner table. He brings up that Shanks, Luffy's idol, is one of the 4 emperors of the sea, the rulers of the second half of the Grand Line. And this last one is extremely different from what he actually looks like. Okay, so we just had the 7 warlords of the sea, and now you're telling me there's 4 emperors too? Oh my God, no wonder why this series is taking forever. I mean, like, what's next? The 23 monarchs, or fuck it, the 15 queens? Fun fact though, originally Oda planned to just have the 4 emperors of the sea, and then he added on the 7 warlords because he felt like they were too cool not to put into the series. Zoro comes barging in all trigger happy and fights the Marines. Luffy goes to help, and after things settle, we come across a familiar face.
Drop it.
That's right, our little shimp, all the way back from episode 1, has climbed his way up to becoming a Marine. God damn, Kobe must have gone through some sort of like hyperbolic time chamber, because I mean, he went from looking like a 10-year-old to a 23-year-old within a month. And what's even crazier is that this didn't happen out of nowhere. The manga had a cover story of Kobe's training at the Navy base and then him joining under Garp, which the anime then adapted during the Little Garden arc. Oh yeah, and Helmeppo's there too. Anyway, while the Marines start rebuilding, Garp just keeps spilling the beans and tells them that the dude they met back in Logtown who saved the captain was Monkey D. Dragon, Luffy's father and the leader of the Revolutionary Army. This is just another reason why I love One Piece. All these things you see throughout the story that happened like a long time ago come back to become super relevant later down in the plot. And the cover stories help to highlight just how big the world really is by focusing just a little bit on what some of the other characters are up to, and then their stories becoming much more relevant later down the line in the story. Garp says his goodbyes to Luffy, and before Kobe leaves, he talks about the second half of the Grand Line known as the New World. The one who can conquer those seas will become the king of the pirates.
That one of these days, you and I will meet on those waters. I'll be even stronger. Strong enough to capture you.
Imagine just how fucked up that'd be if your friend talked about his dreams of one day becoming a police officer just so he can send your ass to jail. Thanks, bud. Afterwards, the Straw Hats start grilling. Then everyone from Water 7 joins in and they party all night long while blasting Sniper King's latest album. However, a party pooper is amongst the crowd. Aokiji stops by to talk to Robin about everything that's happened and asks if she's happy with the life and people she's chosen.
After that, I still felt responsible for your life. But when 20 years had passed and you still hadn't found...
You know what's really hard to hear you whispering over the really loud music and the extremely thick wall?
With everything said and done, Robin has finally found the place she can call home, all thanks to the Straw Hats. The next morning, Frankie starts working on the ship with Iceberg and the rest of Galilaw's help. Back at Galilaw, the Straw Hats hear word of their assault on Enies lobby.
I guarantee our bounties are gonna go through the roof after this one.
Oh my gosh, does that mean I'll finally get a bounty?
Screw being a celebrity, fuck being a YouTuber. That one I am dead serious about. And why would you want to make a positive difference in society? I'm trying to be wanted by the world government. The Frankie family comes barging in to deliver some subjectively good news. Every single member of the Straw Hats are now wanted by the world government. Luffy, 300 million. Zoro, 120 million. Nami, 16 million. And Robin, 80 million. Really? Robin only gets an extra mil on her bounty? I mean, I feel like if anything, she's a lot more dangerous now than when she was as an 8-year-old. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was just some random error, and hopefully this is just the only issue. Chopper with a sad 50 berries. And last but not least, our crowning prince, Blackfoot Sun. Worst of all, Cyborg Frankie is now wanted by the world government for 44 million berries. With this news, the Frankie family begged the Straw Hats to take their big bro with them to sea. Around the world, the news flies about what the Straw Hats have done. We get to see the families of the crew celebrating their success. Smoker and Tashigi swear they'll capture the Straw Hats in the New World. The chefs at Baratier just laugh their asses off. All the towns of our beloved Straw Hats are just happy to see them doing well, from Kokoyashi Village all the way to Alabasta. Man, I honestly kind of miss these bits in the story. It's really nice to just see how the other characters are doing while the Straw Hats have gone along on their journey and just how far they've come in their day-to-day lives. We entered the Revolutionary Army HQ. Dragon looks at Luffy's bounty, happy with how far he's come since Logtown.
That day you and I meet will come soon enough, I'm sure.
So that was a fucking lie.
The Straw Hats arrive at the shipyard to see Frankie's new invention. Introducing the Thousand Sunny. With their new ship, the Straw Hats are ready to set sail, but not without their shipwrights. Otherwise, we'd have to go through this crap all over again. Knowing Frankie's tsundere tendencies, the boys use force, stealing the one thing stopping this series from being a hentai. The amount of diseases Chopper just got from putting that in his mouth is something he will never be able to cure. With his cheeks out in the air because Frankie sure as shit doesn't care, he wreaks havoc and arrives at the Thousand Sunny to confront the Straw Hats. Knowing that Frankie is a freak in the sheets, Robin uses the forbidden technique. She grabs his balls.
Oh no, Luffy, I would love to join your crew, but I'm so busy with all these other little things that if you want me to join, you're gonna have to use force. Is Robin around by chance?
Also, in the game One Piece Odyssey, Robin uses this move and it does a shit ton of damage to your enemies. But I kind of find it funny how, for some creatures, it just straight up doesn't work, like a banana gator, basically confirming they have no balls. Frankie screams in both pain and pleasure, thinking back to what he said as a kid. His dream to set sail and see his ship of dreams cross around the world. Frankie caves and decides to join the crew. The Straw Hats now have a shipwright. Awesome, we got a new crew member and now we're just ready to set sail. Wait. Actually, something isn't right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, fuck, we forgot Usopp. A few days ago, Sanji tells the gang how he saw Usopp planning out his return speech to join the crew. But Mr. Buzzkill decides to act like a mature adult, saying how Usopp needs to be the one to apologize first out of respect. Otherwise, Zoro will leave the crew next. This is such a good life lesson for Luffy, especially as a leader. I mean, it's great that both sides want to work things out and be friends again, but you can't just let people walk all over you making all these excuses. Like, this one speech from Zoro just shows how serious he is about being a pirate and a man. As the crew sail, Garp comes back with some bad news for Luffy.
Truth of the matter is, I'm sending you to a watery grave.
We all like to show our love in many different ways. For some, it's literally murdering your grandchild and their friends. Garp starts chucking cannonballs at the Straw Hats like it's a game of dodgeball. While the Straw Hats fight them off and sail away, Usopp finally arrives to rejoin the crew. At first, he pulls off his lame excuses, pretending like things were perfectly fine and he wasn't at fault. As the crew sail further and further away, Usopp realizes just how serious the situation is. Afraid that he's about to lose the people he holds dear, he finally apologizes for everything he's done. Crying, sweating, and shitting, he begs the crew to let him back on.
Please let me join the crew!
Luffy lets out his hand for Usopp and accepts his apology. The Straw Hats are now back and better than ever. This made me wonder just how far the Straw Hats would have gotten if Usopp never joined back with the crew. And then I realized that they probably wouldn't have made it past the next island. Frankie's got a super idea. He tells the crew to brace themselves as the Thousand Sunny unleashes a big old fart, sending them flying high in the sky, escaping the Marines and leaving Water 7. After finally escaping his abusive family, Luffy celebrates the Straw Hats' comeback with old and new friends. Then they set sail to the next island. Speaking of family, an important person in Luffy's life is about to be engulfed in a pit of darkness. At Navy HQ, the Marines get word that red-haired Shanks is about to make contact with Whitebeard. They prepare for potential war to break out between two of the strongest pirate crews. As Shanks comes aboard the Moby Dick, penis, all the red-haired fanboys fall to the ground, unable to handle the third-time sexiest man in One Piece. Shanks talks to Whitebeard about a certain traitorous pirate, Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard. Originally a member of the Whitebeard pirates, he betrayed the crew in order to gain what he needed. Shanks asks Whitebeard to stay away from Teach and stop Ace from making a big mistake. The See Now Newgate can't quite understand what he's saying and just starts fighting. The two clash, causing the clouds to form a butthole in the sky. Now it sounds a lot more badass than how I'm making it sound about right now. Speaking of Blackbeard, 3 days ago on Bonero Island, him and his crew learned the news about the Straw Hats on Enies Lobby. Teach wants to go and collect his bounty to rise up in the pirate ranks. Although Water Girl's boyfriend isn't too happy about that news, Ace finally meets up with Blackbeard, wanting revenge for killing a crew member.
First, I'm headed off to Water 7 to kill Straw Hat Luffy as a special gift to the world government.
You're out of your mind. I'm not gonna let you kill my little brother.
Oh boy, that's gotta be like the worst coincidence of all time. The battle begins. The Blackbeard pirates are no match for Logia Fruit user, although Blackbeard has a devil fruit power of his own, said to be one of the strongest. Blackbeard ate the dark fruit. Like a black hole, he can absorb anything and everything. The only downside is he's unable to become intangible like all other Logia fruits. Blackbeard killed Thatch to nab the very fruit he's been searching for.
And yes, I killed 4th Division Commander Thatcher with my own hands. But there wasn't any other choice.
Well, I mean, you could have just literally asked him, like, hey, Thatch, I've been looking for that devil fruit for years. Is it cool if I can have it? You know, instead of just straight up murdering him right off the gate. With this fruit, Blackbeard is able to nullify Ace's powers, making all fruit users just a normal human, punishing them for being so dependent on their powers. The two cause major destruction across the lands. However, Ace is the one suffering the most. Blackbeard asks one more time for Ace to join the crew. Sticking to his ideals, Ace tries to act like it's Dragon Ball Z and conjures a spirit bomb. They both launch one final attack that shakes the island to its very core. And at the very end of it all, nothing is left besides Ace's hat. The winner is undecided, but one thing's for sure. The outcome of this duel will lead to a great war with a tragic end. To be continued. And that's the end of the post-Enies Lobby arc and the Water 7 saga as a whole. The arc itself is good, but I mean, it's really nothing spectacular, but that's kind of the point. Like I mentioned earlier, it's meant more as a break in between the different arcs. And really the best parts of post-Enies Lobby is the stuff that happens outside of Water 7, like the talk with Shanks and Whitebeard, Ace versus Blackbeard, and yeah, I will say the new bounties is really cool. Well, that's about it. Let me know how you guys feel about the post-Enies Lobby arc and the Water 7 saga as a whole. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube shebang, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, so you're telling me some fat vampire and his Hot Topic employees want to rule the world with an army of zombies allergic to salt? But one perverted talking skeleton stands in their way. With the power of music, he will one day serenade a whale. God, this anime is getting weird. I mean, I should be done by now, right? What do you mean I've only covered 30% of this anime? Oh my god.